All right, you guys, I am so excited for today. We were just talking about this as I discovered talking about this to her. I have Lexi. She is an adoptee, but I don't think I've interviewed anybody that has had an open adoption and is an adult now. So I'm super excited to hear from her. I interviewed her mom a couple weeks ago. I forget the order of all these interviews because I have so many, but it was Kathy. It was her birth mom, and so amazing to sit down and talk with her. And then she connected us. So I'm super, super excited to listen to Lexi's story. So I will go ahead and turn the time over to you.
Okay, hi. Yeah, I'm Lexi, and thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to do this, but yeah, we'll just get into it. And so I'm 20 now, and she was just telling you that she interviewed my birth mom, Kathy, a couple weeks ago. So if you go back and watch her stuff or see her stuff, um, her and my mom, my adopted mom, actually knew each other before. And so, crazy story. I don't know. My adopted mom ended up adopting me. And the first like year that I was born, they didn't really keep in contact in person. Now, my mom would always send, and this is in 2001. So, I mean, my mom would send like letters and like pictures and, that kind of stuff. And Kathy always just said that she needed like a year to like step away, if that makes sense. And then my mom was saying that she needed a year to just like have me. And so they actually ran into each other right before my first birthday, like a couple days before my first birthday, and at like the post office or something, because we're from like a pretty small town. And Kathy was like home from college, and they ran into each other at the post office, and my mom was like, my adopted mom, Deborah, was like, oh my gosh, you need to come see Lexi. And I was just one, and Kathy was like coming to see me, and she was like, you need to come to her birthday party. And like, I don't know. And so ever since then, I have not known a life without Kathy, because ever since my first birthday, she was just there. So yeah, we've done birthdays. I've spent Christmas with them, 4th of July, family vacations. And they were really good about always making the important stuff. Like they were there for my 16th birthday, and they were there when I was on homecoming court, and they were there for like my senior night volleyball, stuff like that. Like they were very good about making the big stuff that was important to me. And so I'm from, it's called Dalhart, Texas. That's where I moved when I was in junior high. And so that's about 12 or 13 hours away from where Kathy lives now. And so, yeah, it was like it, I know I'm making it sound like it was all the time, but it was very, it's not just you hop in the car and you go see. It definitely had to be planned out and like looking forward to it for weeks. And then I don't know, it always just went by so crazy fast. And it's like, how well can you know somebody when you only see them twice a year for a few days, if that makes sense. So I don't know. They were always my favorite people ever to like go visit and see, but I don't know if I really ever like got to know them until I got to college. So now I'll step back from that for just a second, and we'll talk a little bit more about how it was. I think that as a kid, since I didn't know any different, it was never like weird to me ever. It was never something that I thought twice about. Whereas my friends or people around me had a much harder time maybe like addressing it, or didn't really understand, because, and I totally get that, because it's like, what do you mean she's your mom? What do you mean? And then, so I always had questions like that growing up. And then everyone always called Kathy my mom. So they would be like, oh, is your mom coming? And I would always be like, no, my mom's here, I don't know. So I think that terms were like a big thing when I was growing up, and of course it never bothered me or like upset me. I just, just part of it. But yeah, so I'd always known, never crazy, never weird. I think that, and I would hate to speak for my mom, but I think that there was some harder feelings with the adults involved, rather than just like as a kid, I don't know. It was just like, I'm going to visit these people. It wasn't very, I don't know the word I'm looking for. It was very surface level to me as a kid, where I'm sure from the adults' views, it was a lot deeper and scary and messy. And so, I didn't fully understand that until I was older. So flashing forward now, so I go to school at Texas A&M, which is only like an hour away from where Kathy lives. And again, that's like 10 hours away from where I live, where I grew up. So it was super hard for me at first to be here and to be alone. And give me just one second. I'm going to ask these people to give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I live with so many roommates, but okay. Yeah, so I got here, it was super hard. And so I would just go to Kathy's house a lot. I would use it as like an escape. She was only an hour away. And I don't know, we talk about it all the time, that I think that God put them in my life, not for the whole first 18 years, but for the rest of it. I needed them in a way that I didn't have my mom and dad here, and it's like, it was crazy when we started spending weekends together and spending weeks together, because we spent all of COVID together, all of quarantine together. I don't know, like, they're my people, and it's like, it was crazy to see how alike that we talk and how alike that we are, and just mannerisms we do. And the more we hang out, the more it's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, so I think that was also super hard for me, being around them in everyday life, like I was for a while, just because there comes a lot of what ifs that you're constantly thinking of. And of course, that's the devil talking, it's like whispering in your ear, and it's not realistic at all. And it's like, if it was supposed to be that way, then it would have. So that's just a lot of things to remember. And excuse me, life would not have looked that way had I had been there. You know what I mean? And so it's a dangerous, like, mind game that happens. But yeah, so I am super grateful for how everything turned out. And I'm super grateful that I do have them here in my life now. And they're great advocates for me. They pour into me when I need them to pour into me. They tell me the hard stuff that I don't want to hear, but they're also not. And when I say they, I'm talking about Kathy and her husband, James, because I love them both so much. But it's like, they're not my parents, so they're not parenting me, but pretty close. I don't know, it's like pretty borderline best friends, borderline parent advice. I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, I think that's all I have to say. Do you have any like questions or anything I should hit on?
No, you're so cute. I love that you had that open relationship growing up. And so for you, it wasn't anything different. And, I get with adults, there's different feelings, because obviously when you're an adult, there just is. And
Absolutely.
so I get, I can empathize, sympathize maybe with like your mom on her feelings about with,
Mm-hmm.
Kathy and stuff, because
Yeah.
I know my mom has felt that since I found my birth mom.
Yeah.
And I get it, because one, it's scary, it's unknown. They don't want feelings to change towards them different
Absolutely.
now that your bio mom. But like, that's one thing is like, I love that you said that, is like, it's my mom, she raised me this and this, but there's also a period of life where people are supposed to be in your life more, and like this period of life. And
Yeah.
I can also empathize. I've never met my biological family, but like
Mm-hmm.
there's siblings that she has, and for me, and I can empathize with, if when you're around it and in it, and you're just kind of like, okay, well now, like, what if I was here the whole time? What if this?
Yeah.
What if that? What if this?
Absolutely.
And every single adoptee thinks that. It's not just,
Yeah.
a select few. Every single buddy thinks that, because they're like, well, if this happened, and then, there are some that have hard stories that are
Huge
like,
rabbit
hey,
hole. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But I love that you said that, because if you're going to sit there and play those mind games, it's just not healthy. It's not good.
It's not.
You
It's
know,
not. And it's not realistic,
no, no, exactly. And if you do have, there's hard crap. I get that with everybody in their life. And you just, the best you want to do is do your best to work through it. I get you need to, have some time to process it. But I love that you said that. So let me see what
I will hit on something really quick. I just thought of when you're saying that. Back to like parents feeling a certain way. I've gotten a lot of questions just because me and Kathy have talked on several platforms kind of before, and I will have adoptive moms reach out to me a lot and just kind of ask, they never want to make their adopted child feel like their feelings are hurt or something, anything like that. But they want to know like what is appropriate, what is not. And it's like, it's two totally different like loves, if that makes sense. Like the only way that I can reassure my mom, and I don't know if she'll ever fully understand, but it's like, you're my mom. You know what I mean? Like, no one's ever going to replace my mom. And so, and then it's like, Kathy, I love her so much also. And the only like way I could ever explain it right is everyone always tells me, and of course I don't have any kids, but it's like, it's kind of like how you love your kids. I don't know, like it's hard to fathom when you have one kid, how could you ever love two kids? And it's like your other kid comes and then you love them so much in such a different way, and it's like, I don't know. So I just want to be so reassuring that like my mom's always going to be my mom. You know what I mean? Or to any like adoptive parents that I don't think that there should be a fear. I totally get the fear, but it's like, you're always going to be their mom, their dad, I don't know. So I just wanted to touch on that really quick because I meant to say that.
No, I love that you said that because I have a lot of adoptive parents that follow me, and that's like their biggest thing is they want their kids to be able to have a good relationship, either the ones that have an open or the ones that have a closed, and go to seek their bio parents when they're later on in life. But I know my biggest thing, and I tell every adoptive parent this, is like, you asking me these questions, you're already doing the right thing. You're already concerned for your child.
I think it says the world about them.
Yeah, because there's so much love there. And I love how that analogy is because, I have 3 kids, and, it makes me sad that people think that you can love one person more, because that's not how it is. Because like there's friends that come into your life that end up being like family, there's just all these random people that become family. And it's like, I love this person so much, but I don't love them more than you. It's like, I mean, granted, I feel like it's a little different with my husband, but that's a different game. That's not like a
totally
parent,
different. Right. Right.
But like, I love that you address that because it's so true. Like, I think people get scared, they get in their head, and they don't comprehend that like love, it just, when it comes to it, your heart truly has so much room for love if you're willing to let it love, you know what I mean, and not be scared and insecure. But like you said, I get the insecurities with
totally natural.
Parents.
I get it. Yeah,
because it's got to be hard. Is what was I going to ask you? Okay, so no, don't be sorry. With your friends growing up, I love, like, maybe not just friends, but how people ask those questions. And I love how you said that you never felt offended, because I feel like sometimes adoptees my age like to be like, I was so offended that they asked me this way. And it's like, for me, it's never offense. It's more just like an opportunity for education. And most people I know, they're not trying to be assholes about it. You know what I mean? They're just trying to be like,
and and it was totally a lot of my friends, and especially when we kind of got a little older, I think it was more like they did want to know. And obviously they weren't ever like using the right terms or stuff like that. And it's like, offense was taking none, because I knew their heart was in the right place. It's like they wanted to know what they should be saying, what they should be asking. And when, as Kathy started visiting, in her whole family, because she has 4 kids too. And so as they started visiting me in like high school and like birthdays and stuff like that, they knew my friends, and it's like my friends knew them. And so, did I touch on that? Yeah, I don't know. So that's just always kind of how it was. We fixed the mom thing. People don't really say that anymore. Some of my friends in college still kind of do, but I totally know what they mean. And of course, I do call her kids my brothers and sisters. That is what I do. So
Well, with that, they are like, does that make
Absolutely,
sense?
absolutely.
Like that they are. And even if like some perchance, like, you know, your parents got divorced and then you gain new siblings that aren't even blood, like they're still your siblings. You know what I mean? Even though they're
Right.
step
And
siblings,
like I
like,
call her parents, Mimi and Papa, Nanu Nana, like, and Uncle Mike, Aunt Molly, stuff like that, you know. And so it's like me and Kathy are the only ones that do like
right.
Kathy. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of her kids the other day in the car had said, she's so sassy, but she was like, you can call her birth mom, you know, like just like, you know, because she's a kid. But it was funny. So we joke around and I say birth mom sometimes as a joke, but it was just cute.
And I know for me personally, I feel like it can get so sticky because like your birth mom's still a mom. Does that make sense?
Right.
And so
Right.
I have loved meeting a lot of these birth moms who are probably my age now. So like in their 30s, that they're totally fine with whatever their child wants to call them. Like they don't hold to like mom. But at the same time, I also get like if there's a different form of mom they want to call them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like mama whatever and by their name.
Right.
And
right.
I would hope that adoptive parent doesn't feel like, oh, well, you're replacing me. Like I would hope they would never feel like that because mom is always mom. And to me, I feel like that's where it gets sticky, is like you can only call so many people mom, but it's never like, oh, you're more of a mom than this mom. I never feel like that, you know? And so I don't know, but that's one thing I've really liked is like birth moms are kind of speaking out to like, they can call me whatever they want to call me, you know, it's like totally fine because they understand, you know, that relationship. And so that's where it can get hard.
It does get sticky. It's sad,
but it's good. So, what advice would you have for, because I don't know how many, like, let's say this, adoptive parents who are keeping their adoptions open, like, do you have any specific advice that you would give them now that you're older and you're an adult and you can kind of see that?
Yeah. Other than like what I kind of touched on a minute ago, but other than that, I don't know. I think that open adoption is great. I do think that, you know, just like closed adoptions, there are pros and there are cons, you know, and it's like there's a lot more feelings involved when it's open. And I think just like remaining faithful and like just knowing that if it's meant to happen, it's meant to happen, you know, and just like constantly reassuring either your child or the biological parent or your spouse, or pouring into them just reassurance, and like help them remain confident in their role and just kind of like who they are in the situation, and that's never going to change, you know. And it's like I guess just like that, just remaining, and do it for yourself too, you know, like remain confident in where you fit in this and the role that you're playing, and you know who you are to this child. And it's like, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters, you know. So I don't know, I guess just that.
No, and I think that's great and wonderful because you've been through it. And so you know that there can be hard feelings and weird feelings, but in the end, to me, it feels like you still feel that everybody loves you. Everybody that you know loves you.
Absolutely. And I'm the worst at, I want to make everybody happy all the time. I never want to step on anybody's toes. So I've definitely had like a hard time at just like not, you know, because you can't please everybody. But my mom she always says, you know, at the end of the day, if it's one more person that's gonna love you, she's like, how can I be mad about that? You know, like how could I ever oppose to that? It's like I want all the people to love you and pour into you. So she's always said that, and I love that because it's so true. Like it's just one more person to love on you, you know?
No, I love that so much. And seriously, I am excited. And I know if there is any adoptive parents that want to reach out to you, is that okay if they reach out to you? Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay, totally. Perfect. Because I tag everybody on my videos, and so I'll tag them. You can go. Lexi's just adorable. She's just like so cute. I just like want to go hug her. Like, granted, I'm like 14 years older, so I couldn't be her mom, but still, I'm like, she's just so sweet, and you can just tell that by her pictures and her countenance. Like seriously. So seriously, thank you for taking some time to sit down and talk with me.
Thank you for asking me. This is so fun.
I was so excited when she put us in touch with each other, so I was super excited. So thank you again so much for taking some time, and I super appreciate it.
Thank you.